everyone, and welcome to 4 Top 3s, where we talk about our top 3 things in a random subject. And the chooser of this episode was Neil.
Oh,
what did you get, my friend?
You know, it's getting harder and harder to choose topics. We're not very far into this show, and it's already really hard.
So
it's
you
like
chose people's homework instead.
Yeah, the thing is, Neil, there's a really big list which I think you put together, which you didn't even look at. It's not on the list.
We're gonna get to like just the end of season 2, and we're gonna have talked about every possible thing, you know, in the whole wide world. We'll have used all of the words in every order that they can be used at.
Then what we need to do is get more guests who have a much bigger range of ideas than we do.
Season 3, we only have guests now.
They'll all come up with better podcasts than me.
No. So, what was the topic? What was the homework you set us this time around, Neil?
Profanity in media. Anytime someone used a swear word or something, some profanity statement.
So, at the top of this episode, there's a lot of swearing in this episode.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of curses that some of you may find offensive, and some of you will not care about.
Cunt.
So, yes, that one for starters. And I have a beautiful video to share with you guys that uses that particular. So, yeah, if you have any particular issues with what is often referred to as the C word or any other swears, this might not be the episode for you.
Yeah, I ripped this off a music channel. Give credit where credit's due. I'm not super original. There's a YouTube channel he does streaming and then like cuts it up and posts that to YouTube. Brad Tasted Music is the channel, and I've watched him grow over the last little bit, and it's been a good channel. He does music things, and they're all kind of different. And he did like the worst clean versions of songs first, I think was the first one. And then he did the worst cusses in music, you know, the most out of place ones, cringe ones. They're all like fun topics. And he covered this recently, and I thought it was interesting. So hopefully we all thought of things. I struggled. I'm not going to lie. Put it on the record.
Yeah,
I thought that I listened to more cusses than I do.
Well, I struggled until I expanded my range of what swears would include.
Yeah.
So I included the slightly softer ones, like calling things cocks and twats. And then I realized that nothing on my list has any of those in it. So, and then I couldn't stop writing down the things that I thought were funny or interesting with swears in. So this got easier over time. It started off really tough.
Oh, the only thing I started with was like really good burns, which aren't even curses. It's the like, oh, I thought we were going to have a battle of wits, but I see you've showed up unarmed. Like, that's all I could think of to start with. I couldn't think of a single curse one. It was terrible.
But on my list, I only have three ones that I could even think of that I had recent exposure to, because most of the media I consume just doesn't curse, because I mostly like when I watch something, it's usually Asian dramas and they don't do curse word, like at least the ones I watch it because it's Korean historic dramas and they're
Cassie.
very
prim and proper.
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane, Cassie. Come on. Good old classics.
The thing is, I never watched that movie. I don't watch a lot of movies. I know the reference. I just don't watch a lot of movies.
Why would you not watch Snakes on a Plane?
Listen, I don't even have time to sleep or eat. The only times I am able to watch something is while I'm eating, and I only have like 15 minutes.
You would have watched it if it was called Buddies on a Train or something. Tired of these Mother Fluffing Bunnies on this Mother Fluffing railroad.
Give me that movie right now.
Well, I guess we figured out the name of the episode. Good topic, though.
Why is it always Eva that's keep coming up with these topics?
Well, I realised, like, we can't, in the description nor in the title of this episode, actually use any of the cuss words we're about to use. without us getting yeeted off of iTunes. So, yeah. Oh, fudge me. All right, Neil, you began this homework assignment, so I feel like you need to present first.
Show your homework.
Oh no.
Yeah, show us your homework. Show us the workings out.
Oh, show how you got to your answer. Show your work.
Okay.
Yeah, show your workings.
How did it
In your head
solve
doesn't
for
count.
profanity?
Do y'all want a music or a movie first? Doesn't matter to me.
Movie.
Movie? Okay.
Movie.
A movie. I changed my mind halfway through.
I don't remember this movie. It's a pretty old movie, but it's among the first things that crossed my mind when I pitched this. I was like, oh yeah, there's that one. So at least this scene stayed with me. And there's a character in this movie. I'm not going to complete that sentence. We're just going to watch the thing.
Okay.
I don't know how much I need to introduce for the scene to matter.
Are you gonna link it?
Yes, I'm going to share screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a clever way.
Ooh.
So this character here in the back of the car, he wants to be a jet pilot. He's taken a vow of silence and hasn't spoken in a very long time, as a token of dedication to, his goal. So he wants to be a pilot, and they're just in a car right now. And his little sister, I believe this is, I can't remember. I don't remember anything else about this movie. Is showing him just like they're on a road trip and she's passing the time, showing him little pages out of a book. So the movie is Little Miss Sunshine, and the scene is the part where he figures out that he's colorblind and has an outburst of emotion when they park the car.
You mean he screams fuck at the top of his lungs?
I do remember that scene.
Yeah.
But I don't remember any of the rest of the movie.
No, I don't remember any
I
of the rest
remember
of the
that as
movie.
soon as he starts throwing around in the back of they're in like a camper van type thing in this movie, or at least this portion of it. I remember that, and I remember him getting out and screaming fuck. I'm like, I recognize this. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, that outburst of character emotion in that scene, and the fact that that's the first thing that kid has said in such a long time, is his dreams shatter.
Is it his first line in the movie? I don't remember.
I think so, yeah. Because he's been on his vow of silence for, I believe, years probably at this point in the movie. It's like a character thing.
Blimey.
I don't know. I probably didn't even like his character until that moment, but it's like such a good little moment where you're like, oh, damn, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, the acting in that, I'm gonna. If you haven't noticed, there's one of the streamer links underneath. Definitely click the one that's labeled Little Miss Sunshine. That is in basically 2 uses of that word. That is acting. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, easy enough. I don't know what else to talk about for that scene.
We could talk about Little Miss Sunshine.
I don't remember it. I remember watching it a very long time ago. I remember that, and then I remember the very end where the little girl is standing up on stage, proclaims that Grandpa's in the trunk. I don't remember anything else about that movie.
The first thing I noticed about that little clip you just shared was all the cars just honking, and I'm like, why? What's happening? There's nothing happening. There's just cars driving parallel to each other. Why is everyone honking?
If I remember,
I like the way the dad is honking and there's no one in front of him.
Yeah.
There's literally no one.
If I remember correctly, they are driving an old car that can't reach even close to the speed limit of the highway.
Right.
So there's
They're
been
the problem.
The cars have been honking at them for hours at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Which is probably why the dad wasn't even paying attention to anybody talking. He was just in his own I hate life right now. I don't want to stop the car. I don't want to be here.
I would have screamed fuck much earlier if it just because of that honking.
Fuck off.
Out of pure frustration.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not this. You're not even allowed to do that in German. Just randomly honk at a car because it's slow. Just pull over. There's a reason there's 2 lines on the Autobahn.
There's another lane. Use it. That's a good demonstration. I think by the time we hit the end of this, we're going to see a lot of different uses for profanity. And I think that one, I'm going to put this one behind my ear for reasons.
Oh.
For reasons.
Oh, no.
Well, thank you, Neil. Let's go with Cassie.
Me.
I thought you.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm doing the circle thing.
Circle thing. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm starting in the top left and going round.
So on my top 3 list is the band name Fuimadan. Because it literally has "fuck you" in it, which is one of the first thing I asked him when I asked him if he needed a cover artist, and I asked him what the fuck does Fuimadan even mean, and he was like, "It means fuck you, I'm a Dane," and part of that is because he was often bullied in school because he has Russian ancestry. And everyone in Denmark was like, "You're not a fucking Dane." And now that he had like more or less control over what he was doing, he named his art project, his music project, "Fuck You, I Am a Dane," and all the music he does and all the actions he does have a very big "fuck you" energy, and I really appreciate that about him.
Yeah, when you explained that was how the name came about, I'm like, yeah, I appreciate this. I also appreciate his very much his "fuck you" attitude to some of the trolls and absolute dickheads who were following him.
Yeah,
like, no, you can't have this kind of a person on your cover. They weren't Vikings. Fuck you. And they're on. I love it. I love his energy for that.
Yep, absolutely. And like he's often told, like, for example, that talking about mental illness, not that he's not told that, but like that's just generally how it's perceived. Like talking about mental illness is a taboo, and like one of the points he makes on his social media accounts is like talking openly about his mental illnesses, because fuck you, that's why.
It's good attitude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how did you get to meet him?
I was at the beginning of writing Counterbalance, I tried to immerse myself in more Viking-esque music, and I was in a few groups on Facebook that had like Viking music, like sharing that kind of stuff, and I kept seeing his name, and he had like 3 or 4 tracks at the time out, and like his music was on par with another big musician who I will not name here because he's an asshole. For the record, he also has Dane in it, in case anyone knows it. But I saw like he did not get very much recognition because I from my perspective as someone who does cover art and a lot of visual media, my take on it was that he did not get a lot of recognition because his cover art simply sucked. So I stepped up to him and was like, "Hey, you make great music, but I feel like you're not getting the recognition you deserve because your cover arts. You deserve better cover arts. Let's say it like this." And he was like, "Yeah, thank you. I would be very happy if someone took that from me." And ever since then, we've become fast friends. And that's how that happened.
That's good.
So you came in with a "fuck you" attitude of like, "Hey, your cover art sucks."
Fuck
he was
your
like,
covers. Here's a better one.
And he was like, "Hey, fuck you. You're right, but fuck you."
Yeah. Ever since then, fuck you has been our thing.
You use a lot of his music in Counterbalance, right?
Yes. It's the only music I use because I want to promote him and like raise him up a little bit, raise awareness for him by using it primarily, and because he also like uses the vibes I am looking for Counterbalance, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is very unusual, so it fit.
Yeah. And check the links. You'll find a crap load of links, and go listen to Counterbalance because it's amazing.
And listen to Fuimadan because fuck you. That's why.
Because fuck you. Yeah, that's why. The unofficial subtitle of this episode. Fuck you. That's good. That's a good demonstration. And it's not in a song. It's not in a TV thing. It's good. I like it. All right, Ethel, what do you got, bud?
Oh, my number 3 is. Oh, I had to dust off the fucking cobwebs for this one. So I sat there thinking to myself, like, I knew number 1 almost instantly. Number 2 was a little bit of a struggle, but number 3, I was like, I know this, but I can't remember it. And that's why it's number 3, because I could not help myself. And then I started Googling around, and I spent about 20 minutes finding this thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and share screen, because that's what the cool kids are doing.
Ooh.
So this is minute 144 of episode 25 of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. I sat there thinking to myself, I remember somebody bleeping out cursing a lot, and I remember laughing my fucking ass off at it back in the day. Now, this is 13 years old, so if this feels overplayed and old and, like, not that fresh, like, please take note. It's old. It's really old.
It's probably the ancestors of all the others that ripped him off.
Yeah, so there you go.
So there was so many beeping in this Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episode minute, whatever it was. It began to sound like Morse code.
Yeah, I was like, who's going to decipher it?
And then a single beep.
He just answered with a fuck. You can tell that the end was like he's ran out of steam, but he's still mad. It was just like a fuck.
Dick!
Dick!
Bitch!
I just think the way that he answered. So you have to beep sideways. It leaves the brain to so much imagination. You're like, he said shit, right? Or piss? Fuck? I don't know.
Waddle?
There are many options.
Waddle sign.
So that's I like this genuinely took such a long time. This is 13 years ago I saw this, and like I just sat there like in a old coma, just like where do I remember this from? Where do I remember this from? And I found it. I'm very glad. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. It's old and it's quite funny if you ever watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Check it out. I think we mentioned Abridged series like shockingly often in 4 top 3s.
I think in the cartoon one, the cartoon series one, probably.
Yeah, we mentioned something abridged. I want to say Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
abridged, but
that
I might
too.
be wrong. Yeah.
This is our podcast about YouTube 10 years ago.
I have an honourable mention which includes bleeping, which is from 14 years ago.
YouTube for 10 years ago and movies from 2006.
Yeah. We're kind of terrible. But yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, God damn it. When did Little Miss Sunshine come out? I'm going to be upset.
2003, I think it said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not really a use of profanity, but sometimes the beeping is funnier than the profanity. And
Oh my God, it's a 2006 movie.
What?
I've
Why
been
does it look like
called
it was
out.
made in the 80s?
I was called
Yeah, it
out
does.
in an earlier episode by Karen. For only liking movies in 2000. All my movies were from 2006, and here I go again on my bullshit. I don't know any other movies. God damn me.
I think using censoring and bleeping is sometimes funnier than actually just putting the swear in.
Absolutely. In the
Yeah.
same way that if you don't swear a lot, when you swear, it hits harder. I read across a Father Ted's clip where the priest swears. And it's just like, oh, that actually looks really like set up and funny. So, yeah,
Yep.
sometimes less is more. Sometimes more is still funny.
Yes. So the use of the beeping and the profanity beep censor thing actually leads into actually my second choice.
Oh.
I'm going to go second for my third place.
Ah, yeah.
I'm going to do it first. Is actually Mythbusters episodes. So there is an episode where they test if swearing can allow you to withstand more pain and for longer. And they do it with like the bucket of ice water. And you basically keep your hand in there, and as soon as you can't cope, you pull your hand out, and you have like 3 minutes. You can say whatever you want, but you're not allowed to swear. You can't use a swear. But they figured that, hang on a minute, our poor graphics person who has to put like a thing over their mouth every time they swear, so you can't even see the shape of what they're swearing. So they built a little visor which goes across the mouth so that it's just covered in symbols so they can swear and just put a beep in. It's one of my favorite episodes. It's just a really random one. Like, it's the pain tolerance idea. Like, you know, if you don't swear, you can't somehow manage to deal with as much pain. But as soon as you start swearing, you can suddenly get through it a lot better. And that was kind of the premise of it, which was just really good. I thought it was really funny. But along with that one episode of Mythbusters where they test the effects of swearing, there is an episode they did for Shark Week where they had a captain of a seaboat on, and they wanted to, just as a mini myth, not part of the Shark Week, they were like, all right, so could you swear like a sailor? And he did. It's just a full on, it's just a beep. There is no cutting. There's nothing else. It's just like beep, and they're just like, oh my, beep.
That captain has died.
I just like that episode. It was a really interesting study on swearing, because they replaced the words afterwards. Like, they were like, okay, if we allow you to not swear at all, we allow you to swear, or we give you a list of words you're supposed to treat like swear words, like banana and apple and peach or whatever the stupid shite was. They still couldn't do it. It was something about the actual swears. The fact that this is a kind of taboo, last minute ditch effort thing, it has to be a real swear for you to be able to withstand the pain quite as long. And it was just interesting, and I thought it was really cool. So when you said media instead of a song or movies, I'm like, oh, thank Christ. This is one I could actually talk a bit about, because I thought it was an interesting experiment. And then, yeah, the honorable mention for that particular episode or that particular series is the swear like a sailor thing.
I've always found the swear like a sailor thing fantastic. It's such a fun myth. And it's actually part of my honorable mentions as well. I've got Captain Haddock from Tintin, at least in the Icelandic version. He has these insane fucking swear words that just make no sense, but you can read them and you're like, oh, he's cussing up a storm right now. Like, so just to ride off your thing, I just decided to mention my honorable mention out of order.
Well, it needed to be.
But I agree. Yeah. There's magic to swearing.
There really
Swearing
is. Like,
it is
magic. It's magic. It's like the kid from Little Miss Sunshine. That portrayed in any other word probably not have as much like heavy weight to it. Like, if he just went out and yelled egg, like, you probably I picked the egg out there. I'm so sorry. I just hear a really big bar.
For a second, I thought you were going into the Zoltana accent.
Like, yeah, that. Like, if he'd come out yelling or coming out yelling egg, it would have nowhere near the same effect as using a genuine swear. Like, using like fuck. There is something to that.
You think that scene would have been lessened in a safe for work version of the movie played at like 3 p.m. where he's like, hack, frickin' hack. Gosh darn it, hacking, frick.
Because I think at that point it would have sounded like a comedic outburst, because the music almost goes in that direction. Whereas, like, yeah, there's something unique about it being a swear. Anyway, that was my episode. That was my second spot, because we were talking about beeps and sensors. Yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
All right, Nee. Back to you, my friend.
Oh, no. Okay. We'll have to talk about music ones now.
Okay.
Funny. My number 2 is also a music one.
Mine too.
One of the ones mentioned in the video that I got this idea from is from a Tool song. I'm not the biggest Tool fan, but I remembered the song, and I agree. It's not my choice. I'm just gonna list all my music ones that I had potential. Now this is gonna be my number 2 spot is my top 3 music things, I guess.
All right, let me just disassociate real quick before you go. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, go on. He's
basically talking about how much he hates like society in Southern California. And he refers to it as a bullshit 3-ring circus sideshow of freaks here in this hopeless fucking hole we call LA. The only way to fix it is to flush it all away any fucking time, any fucking day. Learn to swim, see you down in Arizona Bay. And he's just wishing that Southern California, like, falls into the ocean and becomes Arizona Bay, and it's so angry and brutal. The other one that I was going to choose for this is by someone who I listened to in a different project. The other project is called Have a Nice Life, and it's kind of this post-rock type, like really washed up reverb. It's got its own like style, and he has this other project called Giles Corey, and there's a song called No One Is Ever Gonna Want Me. And the song is about the artist's struggles with suicide, basically. And at the very end, it kind of ramps up into this very overblown, the loudest bit that I think probably on the album. And he introduces it with a count, and instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, he yells 1, 2, fuck you. And I always thought it was cheesy when I was first like getting into the song. And then as the song kind of resonated with me about like what he's singing about, it just kind of like made more sense. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like that outburst is warranted. And I thought it was a good use after a while. But he brings that in before the line, I want to feel the way I feel when I'm asleep, over and over, just in that loud, overblown part. And I think it's just makes it sadder, actually, because of the context of the song and everything. So I thought that was a good example. And I Googled good uses of profanity in music because I was looking for good music examples. And this came up on one of the links. And I just felt justified. I was like, yes, okay, I will name that one at least. But also just in general music, there is a band called a Silver Mount Zion who has an album called Fuck Off, Get Free, We Pour Light on Everything. And the track of the same name, it's very celebratory. And it's a really good song, and I've been listening to it a lot lately. So that's also on my picks for that. Yeah. Also, MGMT, When You Die is funny. I like that one.
Most of my songs that I have on my list that have swears in them are just funny songs.
Yeah.
None of them are serious at all.
It's funny. I think it's a funny song.
Oh, thank you for that.
Those
I
are
will
some
make sure we
music
put the
examples.
links in the bottom.
Yeah.
Good musics. We're always looking for the good musics. Cassie.
Hello.
Hi.
So, okay, next on my list is also a song. It just so happens to be one.
My number
But
two
don't
is also
worry,
a
I got
song.
only one.
Neil managed to sneak his own top 3 into the top 3.
Top 3 on place 2.
I just knew I wasn't going to have too much to say about any of them. So I was like, I'll just list them all and, explain where they came from. My bad.
Okay, so mine is from my favorite band, Heilung, which recently, like in August, I think they released a new album. And on it, when they released, they released tracks early, like 2 or 3 like promotional tracks early. One of the tracks that they released early is called Tenet. And the moment I saw the title, I knew exactly what this was going to be about. It was going to be about the Sator Square, if any of you know what that is. That is a very old pattern that is often found like in several different cultures in a similar pattern. It is the words Sator, Arepo, Tenet, Opera, Rotas written underneath each other. And what makes this thing special is that no matter how you read it, if you read it forwards or backwards or up and down, you always read the exact same words. So the moment I read the title of that track, I knew the track was going to be reversible. So obviously, within like an hour that they released the promotional thing on YouTube, someone uploaded the reversed track. And it's like 13 minutes long or whatever. And they claimed that it was going to be the same forward as it was going to be backwards, but that's not entirely true because there were hidden messages by the lead singer in there, and some of the stuff he says is, I didn't write all of it down. He said something about if you take cocaine, your nose will fade away. I want to swim in a sea of LSD and golden shower every hour.
Okay.
It was just so funny that was in there. You cannot hear those things in the forward version, and the reversed version has already been taken down from YouTube, unfortunately.
Boo. We'll find it. If we can find it forward, we'll play it backwards.
Still, while searching for the lyrics, because I knew I had heard that like within that hour that it was released already, I stumbled upon a Reddit thread where someone uploaded a video where they just used the backwards thing on their CD, not a CD player, vinyl player. What's the other thing called? Yeah. they just played it in reverse and you could hear it on there. And people were like, oh no, it sounds like he's saying golden shower every hour. And people were like, yeah, well, that's exactly what he's saying.
He is. Good job.
Yeah, so that's on my list.
Well, that's really cool. That is awesome. Now I just want to listen to this and listen to it only backwards.
But never hear that forward version.
I was a little bit disappointed because when I listened to it forwards, it did not sound exactly the same as when I listened backwards. And I was like, it would have been cooler if they had made that. But when they made a artist statement, they said it was supposed to be the same forwards and backwards. But I feel like it wasn't. Maybe I'm missing something, or maybe my brain is like just inserting something else because the track is literally 13 minutes long. Maybe I've forgotten the first part.
Yeah,
I get to the end or whatever.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I hadn't heard of the
Sator Square.
Sator Square.
Yeah, I loved it. Like 10 years ago or 13 years ago, I got super obsessed with it. I really loved it. Apparently, the word Sator arepo tenet opera rotas actually have like a meaning, and it means something like the plowman pulls the plug and seeds the seeds of the world or something like that. Or the plowman holds the world in balance with his wheel, something like that. You'd need to look it up. But it's found in many like temples or archaeological finds in many different languages, and it's just very similar that you can read them forwards and backwards and up and down, and it's always the same words.
That is super weird.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's super cool, but super weird.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't have any experience with Sator circles, so I unfortunately don't have a lot to comment on here.
Sator circles? It's a square! Bitch.
Sator Square?
Square.
Yes.
Square, though.
Yes.
I was considering gaslighting you, but you know what? Yes, I'm wrong. We have this on recording, unfortunately, this time.
I will
Wrong.
I will post a picture of the Sator Square in the thing.
Yeah, that'd be dope. All right, Atho, what have you got, bud?
I got a bad one. It's not clever. It's not good. It's probably one of his worst songs, but when you talk about cursing songs, it's the song that comes to my mind. I think I've mentioned this artist before on 4 Top 3s. His name is Schaefer the Dark Lord. If you're going to listen to any of his songs, don't listen to Fuck This Song, which is the song I'm going to put forward. I would recommend Supervillain, Tour Song, or Clone Fucker. Clone Fucker's a great song. Unfortunately, we're listening to Fuck This Song, which is not nearly as good, but it is the song I think of when I think of like cursey songs. So let me set this up. You know what? There's not a lot to set up. I'll just read out some of the lyrics. I find them kind of entertaining. The bridge of the song is fuck this, fuck Chris, fuck me, fuck you, fuck everyone here and everybody else too. Fuck off, fuck face, fuck all night long, fuck everything everywhere, and fuck this song. And there's one part of the song where what was it? It's like, like he's just basically cursing the audience, that the audience would ever enjoy his song, and he's just like, say it with me, you fucking monkeys, sing it louder, fucking monkeys, fucking monkeys, motherfucker. And he's just cursing, and the entire song he's just cursing, and at the end of the song he promises never to put the word fuck in another song, and I think he stands by it. Fuck me if I'm gonna make a radio edit of this, was the last sentence actually.
They have a radio edit of wet ass pussy, so I wouldn't put it.
No.
Yeah, I think it's like wet and gushy or something, which is not better.
No.
It's
No.
a bad song.
Terrible.
It's still awful to your ears. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
No, it didn't get better.
This is where you should just kept the word pussy.
Yeah.
Just keep it there, my friends.
It's like the radio edit of Big Lebowski. You don't find a stranger in the Alps.
Yep.
It's like, no, just leave it alone, man. Don't try. I was so sad when I started noticing radio edit songs in Iceland. We didn't used to do it, but like somewhere in the early 2000s we started doing it, like 2010s maybe. And now, like, all the songs on the radio are like radio edits. It's so fucking sad.
For some reason, my mind just went. I want Travis to go around in his town and just talk to people and be like, "Hey, are you a stranger?" And once someone says yes, he's gonna be like, "I found one."
I heard somewhere recently that when Rage Against the Machine's "Killing in the Name of" came out and it was played on the radio for a minute at the start, like it wasn't played censored. So the radio was just like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Oh,
yeah,
actually, yeah, I remember there was a similar thing in Britain about that. There was a big push against, like, we had like Britain's Got Talent and all this other bullshit, Finding Stars, or I don't know what the fuck it is. I never watched that shit. There was a big rage against the fact that every single Christmas it would be the act that literally just won the thing like 2 weeks before, and they would be Christmas #1. And Britain, a lot of people decided, fuck this. So they basically made a campaign where they would get Killing in the Name of at #1 for Christmas. And I think they almost did it, or they did do it. And the band were invited to go play on like, I think it's like Good Morning TV or something on ITV. And they were like, oh yeah, you can perform this in here, but you can't do this part of the song. And they just started doing it. They were like, nah, fuck this. This is why we were put on here. Fuck you. And they
Fuck
had to,
you,
like,
I won't do what you
stop
tell
them
me.
playing. Yeah, they just like killed their mics. They killed everything in the thing so that they couldn't be heard anymore. And they were like, well, we're very sorry about that. Moving on to the next thing on our list. It's super funny.
that's
Good on
amazing.
them. Good on them.
I wasn't a big fan of theirs before. I had seen and heard that incident because I was also getting quite annoyed at the fact Christmas was just whatever bullshit had been like elected 2 weeks before. Like, fuck that. So, you went for sheer amount of swears at your number 2 spot.
No, it's the song I think of when I think
I
of
mean, he
sweary
did it
songs.
top 3 too. Beep.
Beep.
I am a simple man of simple pleasure. Excess is funny to me.
Like that
So-
one time when we were when we had what was the card we had on stream? Hydrate or dihydrate, and Neil just
Yep.
pulled up this giant thing of
Yes! More is funnier.
5
Louder
liter
is better.
juice or whatever.
My number 3, talking about excessive amount of swearing. It's not that there was an excessive amount of swearing in what I saw. It was more the fact that they had the entire audience swearing, which was really, really funny. So I used to do a lot of work at like the local like community theatre thing. And my friend was in one of the shows. I thought, okay, I'm not doing the tech for this. I'll actually go see it as a paying audience member. And they did the vagina monologues. And most of that, like there's like the occasional swear word, but not a lot. But they decided for one of their segments, they were going to reclaim the word cunt. And they stood at the front of the stage and they were like, cunt is a glorious word. Cunt means sword into the sheath. It's much better than vagina, which means slimy hole. Fuck that. The word cunt is amazing. And they were like, saying the word cunt is really freeing. And they started walking up and down the stage and just like, cunt, and just doing this over and over and over until a bunch of us started joining in. And then she was like, wait, hang on a minute. She climbs off the stage and she goes and stands in front of the mayor of where we were living. And she's like, everybody needs to hear you say this, Mrs. Mayor. And they had like all the dignitaries and everyone around us swearing and yelling cunt at the top of their voice. It was hilarious. So that was actually my number 3 spot, because that just sticks out so much in my mind that there were some really prim and proper, like, you know, dignitary type folks and people holding office and, like, you know, your grandma who would never use that word. Everyone in this theatre was swearing the word cunt, and it was amazing. So yeah, it's the vagina monologues at my local theatre.
Go see it if you can.
Go see if you can. No, there's this amazing actress named Natalie Noxley, I think her name was at the time. I think she's married since, but like, yeah, she just had such energy to her. You couldn't not join in. It was great. It was such good fun. So I think that's not exactly an excessive amount of swearing, but it was a lot of fun swearing.
I'm getting real like sensitive about my picks because all my picks are just like, oh yeah, more swearing, bigger swearing, and you guys are like finding like genuine stories. I'm just like, no, I laughed when I saw this. And I assure you, my number 1 pick isn't going to be any different.
Well, we don't expect anything different.
Tried and true.
I just liked it because, again, like, see you next Tuesday is definitely a word that a lot of people are sensitive to. And I like that this is very much back in the time when, like, reclaiming words was, like, beginning to really kick off. And this woman, she just went on with absolutely no qualms and started shouting this. And it was great. It was really good to see, to be honest. Because it's still not used massively in Britain, especially around like older people, but it's becoming more common with the younger generation. And as far as I understand, in Australia, no fucks are given.
I recently called you a cunt on a recording we were doing, and somebody went like, "He said the bad word."
Asa, you can't.
You can't do that.
I think I know exactly what she's referring to.
Because like I do this like casually when we're home, like when V does like tiny little things. I'm just like, oh, you fucking cunt, how dare you?
Yep.
And I did it on the corner. I was like, oh, maybe
No, cut this.
Oh.
Cut this.
Oops, we can't get it in edit. Fuck. Like I was talking to my friend Harry about this. He's a Scottish guy that also lives on the island, same as us, and he's like, yeah, like I know a lot of people get offended by it, but like in Scotland, at least where he grew up, you call a person a cunt if you love them, and it's really based on context. It's like, hey, I doing, you cunt, versus like, you absolute cunt. Like, there are differences in intonation on it. And he's like, it's just a word we did growing up. But, like, I'm around a bunch of people in different countries, and they're like, oh, no, it's the bad word. I'm like, no,
Delivery matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Context and delivery and intent matter a lot with that word. So, yeah. I thought if no one else is going to bring up the C word, I have to. I've got to.
I think I brought it up in the first 30 seconds of us recording.
Yeah, you did. All right, let's get all the words out now.
Even before you had the time to do the disclaimer.
Yeah, let's just get them in while I'm doing the disclaimer before the content warning comes in. Yeah, just get all them out hard. Yeah. So that was my number 3 pick. So yeah, that was all in the wrong order.
It's horrible.
All right, Neil. What's your top spot?
Okay. I chose my top one because it's something that I have taken and used in my day-to-day life. It's just a reference that I make to myself all the time. Has anyone seen this?
Oh, I have not seen. Neil,
This
isn't from 2006.
Are you kidding me? No, it's not.
It
says 2014. You almost made me quit this podcast. I will not be called out like this.
Well, actually, what I said, it isn't from 2006. is
Oh,
what
okay. I thought you said it is, and I had a moment.
Okay, I see it now.
So we're looking at Whiplash 2014, the final scene.
Yes.
Never seen Whiplash.
Okay.
Neither.
Not me neither.
I just wanted to show you this without the context because I don't use it within any proper context. And I feel like everyone, I might talk, since we need to burn time here, I might talk a little bit about the context of this movie. And I find it interesting that a lot of people find this scene commonly on social media. And that's how I found this scene. And it changes so much when you know the movie versus what you see out of context. So out of context, I'm going to show you this scene, and then I'm going to explain the scene and a little bit about the movie.
He is angry.
Yes.
You think so?
So yeah, I'm going to explain the context after this, but it's good that you picked up on that because the resolution of this is 3 and I can't seem to... Yeah.
There's a lot of love going in the cinematography of the scene.
Yeah. Like there's a specific color palette for this, isn't there? Thou shalt not have blue.
They were both in color during jazz. Blue.
Ironic.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not have pastels. Oh no, he's starting to enjoy himself.
No!
The rhythm, it controls me.
Don't give into it.
Don't love the jazz. I think this counts as jazz.
I wouldn't know. Is this a jazz band version of Footloose? Is he about to win this guy over? I will not stop before these drums are not completely ruined! Until the drumsticks are covered in my blood.
Why is there so much water on the things?
I think it's supposed to be sweat. Fuck you taking your jacket off for?
You know
Shit just got real.
Shit just got real, yes.
I think shit got real when his hand started bleeding.
No, that was just phase 1.
And it ends. No applause or anything.
The movie just ends there?
Yep. That's
Yeah.
the ending scene.
I mean, he did get a smile from the teacher, and I'm pretty sure that's what he sought
Yeah.
after.
So here's the context to that. So for the context of why it's my choice of thing, that there's that part where he walks over there and he's like, I'm gonna gouge your motherfucking eyes out. I just say that to myself a lot when I'm getting up to pee and I've had my headphones on for 10 hours, you know. Anytime that I'm trying too hard at music or I'm, you know, just pushing myself, that's like my go-to, like, fuck me expression, you know. But for context, in that movie, that's kind of like a bad ending almost, because the whole movie explores what happens in, like, from a mentor to a student, the extreme amount that you can push someone morally, you know, and still, because the conductor and the kid, they used to go to this university, and the kid tried super hard to get this part, like impossibly hard. This is a very macho sportsman kind of like atmosphere that they're building. It's very toxic. The environment is not good. And he's a very strict, harsh teacher. And it kind of crashes all down, and at one point they ask, I'm so bad at explaining things. Oh my God.
I sympathize so hard because I've been in that scenario trying to explain something super complicated. And you're like,
Yeah.
but no.
So it culminates in this kid like almost hurting himself, and they set him down at a certain point. And this is spoilers, by the way. All of this spoilers. I'm going to spoiler all of it, but I don't think it matters because it's a great movie. They set him down, and they're like, this teacher has actually driven another person to suicide. Like, is this teacher, did what happened to you, you know, was he pushing you too hard, this and that? And so late, and it kind of cuts without confirming, but he does like eventually say like, yes, he's a hard teacher. And you find out later, as the kid is throughout town, that this dude lost his job because of this. And he goes and sees him at a bar. And basically at this bar scene, you learn that the teacher really has no regrets, because they weren't there to teach a classroom of students. They were there to find the one next great jazz people and push everyone to hell in order to like bring that out of them. And they're constantly bringing up this old school jazz, like stories, the mythology of old school jazz, where this one guy threw a trumpet at this other guy's head and nearly decapitated him, but he came back the next day, you know, after someone like threatened his life basically, and was the next big thing, you know. And that's his sole one purpose, you know. And the moral question throughout the movie is like, how far can you push people? And he invites him to play with him again. The conductor dude invites the drum kid to play for his new project thing, and then fucks him over. So that's what you don't get to see before that, because he like announces a song that this kid hasn't practiced or anything, and he walks over and he says, "I know it was you. Fuck you." This and that. And the kid, like, he fucks it up and he walks off stage and he's real disappointed. And that's his dad in the back room. And his dad like gives him a hug, and it's like all rather wordless. This guy's like no scenes in the movie, but I think he plays like a super important part, because when you're watching him like perform and he gets to that explosive bit, you know, when he walks back on stage and he's doing it and he takes over the scene, that's his fuck you to the director, you know. It's like, no, you don't get to win this, damn it. And that's why the director walks over there. It says, "I'm going to gouge your motherfucking eyes out." But I think one of the most important bits of that was when the father's like looking at through the backstage doors, that like one shot of someone, like that's not someone who's like, that's a sad, this is almost like the ending of what's that movie that I've referenced once in this podcast already? Midsummer. It's almost like that Midsummer ending of like that smile on the character's face as you get the worst ending ever. That's kind of this, because also like the villain of the movie is this teacher, and he gets what he wants. And the kid also gets what he wants, but like someone's been like traumatized basically by this experience.
It's a slap in the face, because like a good thing came out of a not so great act.
Yeah.
Like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Like, bad things are supposed to be punished and good things are supposed to be rewarded. But here, like, no, being an absolute like an absolute cunt.
What do you do with that
asshat
method of
to this
teaching
kid.
when it gets results?
Yeah.
You know, because both of those people are happy, but they're both like, one of them's been in a very abusive mentor relationship, you know?
Yeah.
It's abuse.
I mean, that's gonna,
so it explores
gonna leave
that.
scars of its own.
Yeah, it explores that. I had a very good, some people complained that he was too harsh. I had a very harsh jazz teacher myself in high school, and I think he was fantastic. I was not good at I was good at music, don't get me wrong, but I was not good at knowing what was what with music. And I got to high school without learning how to read sheet music. And when he figured it out, he was just so baffled. But he put me in jazz band anyways, which is like his passion project, his like top tier thing, his try hard nonsense, right? And I remember being traumatized as a very introverted child, being asked to stand up and solo over and over. I was legitimately traumatized. I remember like just standing there and staring at him very sarcastically at a certain point, just like, I don't want to do this, and you're making me do this. Like, I don't know how to do this other than, yeah, I'll stand up, but I'm not going to play my instrument. I'm going to stare at you. It was a very harsh, like, learning how to like do things, but he realized that I play by ear, and he wanted to like really push me to do something, and I wasn't really comfortable with, you know, being pushed, but it brought something out of me that wouldn't have otherwise happened, and it was great, and it was productive for me. So, I think it was a great experience for me, even though I was pushed really hard. And that the whole movie explores that, and I just connected with that in a sense. And so I picked up that little that little quip of "I'm gonna gouge your motherfucking eyes out," and I just tell myself that all the time.
No.
Damn.
Sounds like a really good movie. Am I correct? Is there a scene in the movie where the drum kid dumps his girlfriend by telling her how the relationship is going to devolve because he's going to focus on drumming?
Yeah, he gives up a lot. Yeah,
I've seen that scene used a lot as like here's a character literally saying what's going to happen. Like he's explaining his motives, but he's not actually explaining his motives. You are watching that and you're going like, no, that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because you're an asshole.
Yeah. He wants to be the very best, like no one ever was, for real though. And he tries really hard, and the mentor constantly puts obstacles in his way on purpose to like get him to try hard. Like he brings in people that he thinks is going to take his place, this and that. And he pushes that kid. Yeah, it's that very old school teaching kind of mentality that he has. My cat's losing its mind, so I'm going to stop talking for a bit.
All right, Kessie,
Yes.
what's your top spot?
I've long debated whether or not I should lead in with a story, but I guess not. No, I'm too tired for this. My cheeks are hurting, so I'm just gonna say.
So
We've all been there. At least 3 of the people in this scene have knowledge of this content. It is a scene from TLD. It is when Aether loses his fucking mind about Daejin in the bubble, and he says, "Suck my halfling dick." No, my halfling girth. I'm sorry, I fucked that up.
Now there is a good story behind there, isn't there, Ethel?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Go check out the merch if you're not
Yes.
sure about.
Yes. Check out the merch. We have that scene as a merch. Buy it now.
I have the same cup. I love that cup. That cup's amazing.
Cameras don't happen on podcasts, guys.
Too bad.
What? We're not live streaming?
Oh no.
Wait, what? So
yeah.
go on, Ethel. You can.
It's
you
your
can lead
scene.
away on the story behind this. Yeah.
It was very simple. We're playing D&D, TLD to be specific, and a big bad character who's from my backstory and became a big part of the story is having a throwdown with the main cast, and he smugly looks upon the players and goes, you know what? Finger of Death, that sounds like a fun spell. Let me just point at somebody. And my character had just learned Counterspell. However, I'm very bad at it, so I had to roll a 17 plus on my dice.
Something like that. Yeah. I think it's like it was either a 16 or a 17. It was quite high.
And
every ability you had tried to counterspell before, I had replied with, "It's not a spell. It's an ability.
It's a spell-like ability.
Spell-like ability. You cannot counterspell this."
Right. I the entire day been going like, "Is that a spell? Is that a spell? Am I allowed to counterspell now? I just got this ability. I want to use it." So yeah, eventually V says, "Go ahead," but I have to roll, and I rolled 18 or 19, and I was a little bit excited, so I just started screaming. Suck it, Daejin, suck my halfling. And I remember this. I didn't know what the words were going to be. I was just screaming, and I was going through my character's feats, and I saw halfling nimbleness, and my brain goes, halfling, just grab that word, suck my halfling, and then like I can't say nimbleman, girth. And then V shortly cuts me off because I'm I'm going
I can tell you're veering into dangerous
rampant.
territory.
But I've gone over it in my head many times, and I'm 99% sure the next one was, see, Dajin, this is why you don't find a stranger in the Alps. I think I was, every time I recreate the scene in my head, I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I would have gone.
I'm going to insert that entire rant into this episode.
Counterspell?
Now you can counterspell.
Finally! Oh, this is not
Sweet
allowed
Jesus.
power. Well, it's still not gonna fucking work because
I need you to roll an Arcana check.
Abnormal. Oh boy. Oh yes! Yes!
Holy shit.
Suck on my halfling fucking girth! Ah, 22 Arcana. Ah, wish you hadn't left me in that cave now, Dajin. Wish I was on your side fighting now, Dajin. Don't you? Don't you? Oh, you impotent half-elf motherfucker. I'm gonna put you in a cage. I'm gonna put that cage in the ground. I'm gonna dance on it.
I need you to stop because I need you to tell me if Squash is actually saying this.
None of it. It's gonna take with it though, really loudly.
Because you would be the target for everything from now on, and it officially wouldn't be my fault.
By the way, Aether, you said that Dajin was a character from your backstory, but have you considered that you were a character from his backstory?
No, because the game's not about nature.
Isn't it?
Is it
No.
not?
No?
Are you
Is
sure?
it not? Dating was fucking with the world long before you turned up, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and grooms existed long before Dajin came along. It's not Groom's story.
No,
This is
but
not-
Dajin was mentioned
But
by
you
name
are part of Dajin's
before you turned up.
backstory. This is why Dajin became the person who he is today.
Apart from that, and I was like, oh, you're veering into dangerous territory, I'm going to have to stop. Stop you from that point was do you say that out loud? Because boy, howdy, I wanted you so much, because then I'd have no excuse not to try and actively kill you.
Hey, Squash had done 0 damage that entire fight. You had no reason to attack him.
Wasn't it really?
Yeah,
But
no.
you were like, no, he says it really
He's thinking
quiet.
it.
He says it really loudly to himself. Yeah.
He thinks
Just like,
it's
He thinks it so loudly at himself, even Lafian could hear it.
Did you say something, Squash? No, never.
nothing. No. Just carry on. I saved you from finger of death. That's what you should be thinking about right now. Fuck you. That's a good one. That's a good choice, Cassie.
I only thought of that when Neil expanded it to media. I was like, wait, what media have I consumed recently? Oh yeah, I've been re-listening to TLD. Yeah. I was actually
All right,
considering
Aethel.
making my entire top 3 stuff that has happened on the Blighthouse. Like, but then I realized most of it would have been from Aether, and I was like, I can't do that to Aether.
Yeah. Although we had over the last couple of months recording some absolute corkers from Casey.
I heard the one that
TLD,
you
and
shared on the QC or whatever.
so
Can we add it? It's so funny.
I'll see how like context free it is. But it is hilarious.
It's not context free.
It's not.
It's not.
And it doesn't make sense without the context.
It doesn't. The context
we'll
makes
figure
it
out.
so much better. It really does.
All right. Aethel, what have you got?
Oh, I'm up again. All right.
Yeah.
So
Put you on the spotlight.
I'm in the spotlight. All right. So Neil brought in Whiplash, a really important movie to him, where you have a really important scene that means a lot to him. Cassie brought in TLD, which is a very what's the word I'm looking for? Like, very nice thing to do. Very like on topic. I'm going to bring in this. I think the phrasing I should use is, I like it loud and big, but I also like it refined. That's it. When I think of cursing, when I think of like genuine gotcha profanity, I think of I'm gonna shove my foot so far up your shaven, perfect elven ass that your breath's gonna smell of shoe polish. That's what I think of. I love that phrase so fucking much.
Oh my god.
I am a simple man of simple pleasures. Keyword simple. And that little rant is so good. And in context, it's even funnier, but I'm not even going to give the context because it's perfect by its own.
Oh my god.
I love tirades. I love clever swearing. I love clever profanity. It's why I think the Scottish are like the best human beings on earth. Just the way they swear sometimes is just so fucking funny. It's I've seen more balls in a eunuch dispensary, you fucking cunt. It's just so like, I love you guys. What the fuck's a eunuch dispensary? I don't even know. I love you.
I'm not really sure how we can explain what we just saw.
Go into the links and click the one that
I'm just
says...
going to name it Aethel Rant. I need you to put the link there so I can name it Aethel Rant.
I'll post them all in the
so I'll never find it again.
And if you want to...
Oh, fuck.
You want an entire video where there's only a single swear and the swear is just a punchline, YouTube shoe store. That's all you have to YouTube. It's probably going to be the top pick. That's my honorable mention. There, I'm done.
Well, thank you for that comedy use. Oh my god, my chest hurts.
I love you guys so much.
So I technically so I have a movie. Now, one is my being a mature adult. This is like a serious thing, and the other one is I say it to myself all the time, and I think anyone recognizes my reference. So I'm going to do the adult one first, and immediately follow it up with my honorable mention for what also could have been my top pick. I'm actually going to choose the scene from Full Metal Jacket, where Private Pyle kills the gunnery sergeant. It starts off with Private Pyle, who has been pushed to his absolute fucking limit by the drill sergeant. The real drill sergeant he has been swearing and insulting everybody from the beginning of the goddamn movie, and it gets progressively worse and worse and worse. And it really is a absolute depiction of how a grown man can break down another man into pieces and finally have them snap. The whole movie, like, to be honest, Full Metal Jacket, be in a good headspace if you want to watch it. But my God, some of the themes that they touch on are fucking heavy. Anyway, this particular scene, the guy is in the bathroom and he is basically just looking menacing. Another character goes in, the main character, and says, "What are you doing here? If we get caught, we'll both be in a world of shit." And Private Pyle's delivery, he looks up really slowly, really menacingly, and he basically says, "I am in a world of shit." And then about 20 seconds later, the gunnery sergeant comes in and is basically yelling, "What is this Mickey Mouse shit?" And the reason I like... What is this Mickey Mouse shit? What are you doing in my head, Private? The reason I like this scene is because although it's the same swear word, it is delivered in three very, very different ways. It's delivered with the... like, we are in absolute trouble. Like, we are screwed. Then it is, no, he's actually screwed. He is living in this reality. Like, that is everything he lives and breathes. It isn't a fear or a threat. It is a recognition of the absolute lowest point of his life right now. And then you have the drill sergeant coming in, yelling about what is this Mickey Mouse shit. And it is just part of his vocabulary. Like, it is three very different drops and portrayals in it. And it really shows that this particular scene really shows that breaking down and destruction of a person until eventually it leads to Private Pyle basically blowing his brains out. That scene of itself it's stuck in the back of my brain for this is what happens when you push something too hard and try and remove all the humanity from a person to build them back up into a perfect automaton of something, a perfect killing machine. Because, of course, a perfect killing machine is going to turn on their creator. That's what you've made. And it's just something in the way that each of those profanities are delivered that just really sticks in my brain. So that was my, like, number one spot. Like, considering how much, like, all the swears have been in this entire film up to this point, these are the ones that really kind of matter in that. And then my alternative number one is from the Pick of Destiny, from the song Beelzebub, where the devil gets challenged to a rock off, which he cannot refuse, and he goes, fuck, fuck, fuck. And that sticks in my brain whenever I say fuck more than once. That third one I do a lot. It's like, fuck. So that's actually my top spot alternative because it sticks in my brain and I use it a lot. And I don't think anyone's picked it up because I try not to sing it. It just stays in my head.
We are the same fucking person. Every time I go like, fuck. And then I say quieter, fuck. In my head I go, fuck. Fuck. Every time I do it, there's like you can hear a gap where I go quiet because I'm singing.
Yep, there is the music, like it's delivered in a beautifully musical way, and this if you haven't seen it, The Pick of Destiny is a really shit movie. Don't watch it. But the songs aren't half bad. Like musically they're okay. They're fine. The lyrics are a little childish. And there's a lot of swearing in it.
Yeah,
it's Dave Grohl is the demon.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
I thought so. Yeah, Dave Grohl's great.
Yeah, like again, it's three fucks delivered in three different ways. Three fucks are given in the making of this three fuck song. I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, that's like my proper number one spot. But I wanted to talk about the others because again, it was like different uses of profanity. Which, when you mentioned profanity media, my brain went, well, first, fuck. I can't think of anything. And then I broke it down by different swear words. And then I tried to go to the tame ones and got to the hardcore ones again. And then my brain realized that I've picked different ways of using profanity. Like, not just, like, there's a song, The Definition of Fuck, which basically has the beautiful line of, or replacing almost every word in a sentence, fuck the fucking fuckers. They talk about a really grammatical way of using the word fuck, but I think it's the different ways that people use it that's interesting to me. Because, like, I've tried to make a note of all the times that we've used profanity in what we've mentioned today. And we've had a lot. Like, there is an emotional outburst. There's protest and rebellion because it's needed. There's bleeping it for comedy reasons. There's comedy reasons. You swear for pain. You do it to reduce something to its lowest form or to belittle something. You use it in rage and anger. Use it as crude humor. Every time by the way, I'm kind of pointing with my hand. I'm gesturing at Aethel. The sheer volume of swearing and reclaiming it, and comedy burns. So I just find it really interesting the amount of different ways that you use profanity because a lot of people are offended by it. Because it kind of supposed to show a limited vocabulary. But fuck that. Sometimes you need to swear.
It's only that case in my circumstance when I just use it when my brain turns off in the middle of a sentence. And I'm like,
well, shit.
Okay. And I just need a second to get myself back on track. So
like,
I go, fucking
Brain is
this.
rebooting. Dun, 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 or whatever.
When my brain is just
Windows tune
fucking turning off.
Yeah, like mostly I'll just use it in jest or like because I come from an engineering background, like a quite like manufacturing engineering background. There's a lot of swearing. Like you go down there and every other word is an F for a blind. So like I kind of began to build up in that. My dad was a builder as well, so again there was a lot of swearing at home. So it was nothing ever new to me. I never got clipped on the back of the head for swearing. That was never a thing for us. But I've become around a lot more people who don't ever really swear. But the only time I've ever really like properly like had to use a swear word was in the same kind of like emotional outburst that you had mentioned in Little Miss Sunshine of I was in a really traumatic place. I was very upsetty. And then I got a bill from the government for £1,000. And I cannot tell you how loud I swore. It was intense. It was long and I was screaming. The girl next door was quite worried, as she should. But yeah, like I just find the uses of it interesting, and I find like where we decide to, this is an okay word to use, this isn't an okay word to use, this situation is fine, this one isn't. And I just think it's interesting that we decide that children should not swear because it does sound awful out of kids' mouths, and I don't really know why. So yeah. I
think because they have not really gotten a grasp of all the ways how you can use swears and all the not the different levels, the different connotations behind it, I guess.
Yeah.
They just use it for fun because it's not allowed. I'm gonna say it as often as I can because I just learned it.
Yeah.
And that's dumb.
Yeah.
You gotta mean it.
You have to understand what the word twat means to be able to use it.
They learned a new word, but they haven't earned it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I'm now realizing I didn't mention the 7 Words by George Carlin. That is a fantastic piece of stand-up that was counterculture and really, really clever back in the day.
And no one named South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Oh,
which
shit!
I'm both disappointed and proud of you for.
I had forgotten about South Park.
I never watched it.
It would 100% be on my honorables mentions list.
Stop booping your mic!
Never!
Have you met my friend
You
Carl's
fucker!
mom? She's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world. She's a big old bitch and she has stupid hair. She's a big...
She's a big fat bitch.
The biggest bitch in the whole world.
That was my favorite song from that.
Shut your fucking face.
I just love Cartman at the beginning of that. Welcome!
Yeah, I love the build-up because it's so good. I'm sorry, I booped the mic too.
Don't, Cartman. Stop. Well...
No!
I still think the best song in that movie is the Blame Canada song. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Blame Canada!
We gotta blame them before somebody thinks of blaming us.
Yep. All right, let's rush around for honorable mentions. Kessie, do you have any?
I had a few on my list, but then I realized they aren't really profanities, more so than just fun ways of describing like I don't have words right now. So I was like, man, I'm just not gonna mention them anymore. They don't really fit. So yeah.
Well, what's your favorite one?
There was, of the ones we mentioned today, of my list.
Of the ones that are on your list.
Okay.
At least give us one.
Okay. So there was a German audio drama, a fan-based audio drama of World of Warcraft back in the day. It's called Alimania. And there was a quote in it that lives in my brain rent-free. And it was from a guy, he was a gnome. And he was trying to get on with an elf lady. And at one, like for, I don't know, 18 episodes, nothing happened. Or like his stuff didn't work. Like she just ignored him and stuff. And he was pouring his heart out to a friend. And he was telling that friend something like, and I had to translate this. It said, I don't understand why she doesn't want to date me, because we gnomes have this problem that our thing is so long that we have to wrap it around our waist, legs, everything. Honestly, it's so long we could catch cows with that.
Oh my god.
And ever since then, every time someone mentions gnomes, that is the image that lives in my head. So guess what happened when you talked about Marnik being a gnome?
Oh no. That's why Lisbeth's interested in it.
Lisbeth!
Oh, bloody hell.
So I feel like it wasn't really a profanity as much as it was just a funny sentence, I guess.
Understandable. Nee, do you have any honorable mentions?
No, I named a lot of music stuff just because I couldn't pick one out of the bundle that I had. So, no, we'll count all of that.
Aetho.
Oh,
What do you got?
Captain Haddock from Tintin. The Soup Store. Just YouTube it. And The Seven Deadly Word by George Carlin. Go check it out. It's all real fucking good shit.
My honorable mentions. I already mentioned the definition of fuck. Please, it's just funny. I think it's funny. Beelzebub, again, go listen to the whole thing. That was technically my top spot, but I had to share it with the other one. I'm gonna mention The Exorcist. Because that scene was shocking when it came on, and as a kid, I watched it really late night when I should not have been watching TV. That was a little bit like, oh no. Just search that scene in The Exorcist, and you'll understand why. It's quite tame-ish by modern standards, but like when I was a kid and back in today, had an impact. There is also a short by Tom Cardy, and it's called A Special Song for You. And it has a beautiful intro, and it has a single sentence, which I think is amazing, and I'll put a link down below. And also Fuck You by Sheila Green, because there is nothing funnier than screaming fuck you at the top of your lungs whilst driving around. I kind of like that song. Yeah, that's my honorable mentions.
Oh, 3 favorite cursings. I have 3 favorite like cursings. It's the I'm gonna rip off your head and shit down your throat. Eat shit and die, and yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Okay. I'm proud that nobody here mentioned anything about Samuel L. Jackson.
Poor Sam.
I think we did the snakes on a motherfucking plane before we record.
No.
Nope.
No, it was on recording.
I think
You
that
did
was?
say
Oh,
Aether,
damn.
that's the episode name.
Oh no, V has dementia.
Right, yep. Oh, no. Fuck me.
No.
Oh, and the other one is the Count cursing. Where
The one that Derp sent us, the one we were streaming?
yes. It's the Count, and it bleeps every time he says the word count or fuck. So yeah, that's another one I just wanted to mention because I thought it was kind of funny. That's it. That's it. We got through the episode.
Woo!
We did it.
Episode longer than anything we ever recorded.
I don't think
I think
so.
we had a fair amount of watching stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you all so much for listening. Let me randomly determine who is next.
I'm pretty sure it's Aether.
I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think
just-
so? It's a random dice roll.
Right, yes, completely random. And as you heard, I actually rolled the dice before I announced it. It's me. And I think I already have a topic.
I demand a recount.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Hang on.
Oh, you
Let
wanna
me
get
choose a
the
different
count in here?
system. Let me beep. Let me use a different system. Let me use the alphabet. So after Neil, it's V. So it's me. So
If you do it
I will have a
backwards,
topic for next time. Yeah, still V. So yeah, I will have a topic for us next time. I think I already have it, so I don't think we need to pull anything off the list just yet. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for the topic, Neil. This was interesting, even though it was really tough. Homework. I guess. Thank you for the homework, Neil. My God.
We demand that you give us a rating afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark our homework, Neil.
We all get an F for fuck.
F for fuck.
A for asshole.
B for bitch.
C for cunt.
D for dick.
You don't have an E, right? You don't have E.
Oh, no, that's tough. So, if you feel like tweeting us what the E swear word is, please don't do that.
Do it.
All right. Oh. All right. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next month.
If you're gonna tweet at us your favorite cuss word, you got to do it without context,
Begins
so
with
that
E.
everyone thinks that people are very mad at us on Twitter.
Do it. Beginning with E.
We will not accept anything other than swear words starting with
Just
E.
do all of them.
Yep.
I can't think of a
Just
thing.
no, just oh my god. I can't either. I'm stuck. So please help us.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Please help us with our grading system.
Exact.
Bye.
Bye.
Stop.
That was the worst ending we've done.
Hey, it's me, the one responsible for making everyone say all the naughty words on this one. Sorry about that. A bit of an experiment this episode was, huh? Hope you liked it anyways. We'll be back to our regular amount of swear words next time, so no worries if you didn't enjoy this one so much. But if you did, we would love to hear about it. If you could leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts and let people know that you enjoyed the episode, that would mean a lot to us. Stay tuned for a quick advertisement for a show that we think you might like. A show from our good buddy Tian, who was on the previous season's episode. Always good to hear new things from voices you recognize, so go give them a listen and check them out. Again, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to leave a review wherever you listen to your shows, and we will see you all for the next episode. Bye.
This has been a Blighthouse Studio production. Thank you for listening.
Nyctophobia, a new fiction podcast featuring Asian folk horrors and ghost stories. As Eastern superstitions and Western storytelling converge, new nightmares emerge.
Can you tell me what room you are in?
I'm in the basement.
Ma'am, please repeat that.
Oh no. Oh my god, I'm in the basement.
Ma'am?
My flashlight. Oh no, please don't leave me in the dark, please. Oh.
Jeremiah?
It's here.
Ma'am.
One, 2, 3. Hush, my baby, don't be scared. Love it always be like you.
Remember, keep the lights on.